A German shepherd emerged from the snowstorm alone, limping, his coat matted with frost and old blood. He was never meant to be found again, but deep in the frozen forest, behind a truck engulfed in flames, 3 police officers lay bound and silent, left to die. No one saw the dog coming. No one believed he would return, but he remembered their scent, and he remembered what it meant to be saved. What happened next will make you cry and believe in second chances, even for those who were forgotten. Before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments below, and if you believe that no soul, human or animal, should be left behind in the cold, hit that subscribe button, because this one might just restore your faith in miracles. The snow had fallen relentlessly for 3 straight days in the mountains east of Helena, Montana. Pines bowed under the weight of thick ice, and the only sounds were the groans of trees swaying against the wind and the occasional crack of a distant branch succumbing to the cold. The forest here was old, untouched, a place where satellite signals vanished and even seasoned hikers carried flares, just in case. In the heart of this remote woodland, at the edge of a frozen ravine, smoke curled into the night sky, thin at first, then rising thick and black. Tom Bradley stirred before his mind caught up. The world was sideways. His head throbbed like it had been split by a brick, and there was a taste of blood in his mouth. He blinked once, then again, eyes struggling to focus against the red and orange flickers reflecting off snow-covered trees. The smell of gasoline and burning rubber made him gag. Tom, 42, was a sergeant with the Helena PD for nearly 2 decades. He had the solid, weathered build of a man who spent more time outdoors than in. A short salt and pepper beard framed his face, and crow's feet marked eyes that had seen too much. After his wife died in a hiking accident 7 winters ago, Tom changed. He became more withdrawn, less trusting of good news, but his dedication never wavered, and neither did his instinct to protect. Now, groggy and bound at the wrists, Tom realized he was lying in the bed of a pickup truck. Its tailgate was shut, its interior charred in places. Beside him, 2 other figures stirred. Ben Cruz groaned first. At 34, Ben was sharp-tongued, sharp-jawed, and always moving. A former Marine turned narcotics officer who'd transferred from Albuquerque 2 years prior. His dark eyes snapped open, blinking against the smoke. His first word was an expletive. Despite the freezing air, his tan skin glistened with sweat. His hands were tied behind his back, like Tom's. "Dale?" Tom rasped. "You okay?" Dale Holloway, just 27 and the youngest in the trio, didn't answer at first. Lanky, boyish-faced, with sandy blonde hair matted to his forehead, Dale had joined the force just 2 years ago. He still believed in clean lines between good and evil. He always volunteered for holiday shifts and carried dog treats in his cruiser, just in case. When he finally groaned and opened his eyes, panic flared. What's burning?" Tom twisted his neck. The truck. The flames had caught on the front seats, licking toward the roof. Snow dampened the area around them, but not fast enough. Fire crackled and hissed as metal twisted in the heat. They struggled against their bonds, old rope, tight, soaked in melted snow. Their legs were free, but with hands behind their backs, they couldn't move much. "How the hell did this happen?" Ben gasped, kicking against the side. "Last thing I remember is checking that trail camera near the missing hiker site. Someone was waiting for us," Tom said through clenched teeth, "and they didn't want us coming back." Outside, the snow whispered. Wind snaked through the trees. The woods should have been silent, but something moved. At first, it was just a shadow, low, quick, almost feline. Then it emerged through the smoke. A large German shepherd, coated in gray ash and old mud, one ear slightly bent, a long scar down his left flank. His coat, once deep sable, was now dusty black and tan, peppered with frost. His rich brown eyes, flecked with gold, locked onto the fire. Then the truck. Then Tom. This was Ranger. Ranger was 7 years old, once a K-9 unit with a different department downstate, presumed lost during a raid 2 winters ago. After a building collapsed, he'd vanished into the wilderness. Some said he was dead, others said he'd turned feral. No one knew the truth. Ranger wasn't feral, but he wasn't tame either. He'd survived on instinct and fragments of training, dodging humans who meant no good. But some scents never fade, and Tom's scent, from a training seminar years ago, had lingered like smoke in Ranger's memory. The dog moved swiftly, nose low, ignoring the fire. His breath clouded the air in short bursts. He leapt onto the truck bed with practiced grace. "Is that?" Dale whispered. Ranger pressed his muzzle to Tom's shoulder, then sniffed the ropes. Without hesitation, he bit down, not hard enough to harm, just enough to test. Then, decisively, he clamped and tore. The rope snapped. Tom didn't question it. He yanked his wrists free, burning his skin, and moved fast to untie Ben and Dale. Flames leapt closer. Ben kicked at the tailgate until it groaned open, snow spilling in. "Go," Tom shouted. They stumbled out, coughing, dragging Dale between them. The truck groaned again. Flames devoured the dash. Then a blast, small but sharp, rocked the forest as fire reached the gas tank. Metal burst. Smoke shot upward. They dove behind a drift as embers rained down. Behind them, Ranger stood alert, eyes locked on them. He didn't bark. He didn't flinch. He simply watched, unmoving, until all three men breathed alive. Tom turned, his face raw with shock and gratitude. "You saved us," he muttered. For just a moment, Ranger wagged his tail. Title: Ranger's Return. That's less than 10 feet from where Dale was lying. They could have taken a shot if they'd wanted to. Or waited for someone to give the order. A sharp bark rang out from the trees. Then silence. Tom and Ben froze. Was that a warning or a fight? Ben asked. Neither waited. Ben grabbed the flashlight, flicked it on, and swung the beam across the tree line. A faint flash of movement. Ranger was circling the far edge of the cabin, his body low, tail straight. Tom hobbled to the other side and caught sight of something in the snow. A small metallic glint half buried near the base of a pine. He leaned down and scooped it up with a gloved hand. A drone, small, black, with one blade snapped and the lens shattered. Tom turned it over. A custom serial number was etched into the side. "Fly cam," he muttered. This one was high-end, not civilian, tactical surveillance grade. "Whoever sent this," Ben said, appearing at his side, "knew what they were doing." Ranger returned a moment later, his breath rapid, nostrils flared. His muzzle was damp with melted snow, and a line of saliva hung from his jaw, more from intensity than fatigue. He stalked the perimeter once more, then re-entered the cabin, brushing past Ben's leg before sitting heavily by the hearth again. Did he chase them off? Dale's voice croaked from the cot. He was awake now, watching them with glassy eyes. Tom nodded. "Yeah, for now." Ben turned the drone over. "They know we're alive. They're watching. But the question is, why haven't they come back to finish the job?" Tom's jaw flexed. "Maybe they're afraid." "Of what?" Tom looked down at Ranger, who hadn't taken his eyes off the door. "Of him." The rest of the night passed with the fire burning low and no more sounds outside. Still, none of the men truly slept. Ranger paced restlessly, ears twitching every time the wind changed. The sense of being watched never left. By dawn, the footprints had been covered with fresh snow. The drone remained, broken and cold, lying like a dead insect on the windowsill. But the air felt different, like the forest was holding its breath, and so were they. The cold had sharpened with the coming dawn. It no longer whispered, but sliced through fabric, skin, bone. In the pale gray light of early morning, the forest around the cabin stood deathly still. No birdsong, no wind, just silence so absolute it felt like the world had paused. Ranger had sensed them first. He'd been restless since before sunrise, pacing the small perimeter of the cabin, tail stiff, hackles raised, ears tilted at every sound, though none came. But when he stopped at the edge of the tree line, body frozen like a statue carved in smoke and muscle, Tom Bradley knew something was wrong. Ben Cruz, peeking through the broken shutter, muttered, "We've got company." Through the trees, 6 figures moved in staggered formation, dressed in black tactical gear, rifles slung, masks up. They moved like they knew the land, stepping between drifts with precision. Not police, not military, professionals of a different breed. One of them paused near the trail and raised a satellite phone. His voice, low and rough, carried just far enough. "He'll be pissed if there's any sign they got out. If Creighton finds footprints, he'll skin us." Creighton. The name landed in the air like a falling blade. Tom's face darkened. So, it is him. Ben didn't respond. He already had Dale halfway out of the cot, one arm draped over his shoulder. Tom turned to Ranger. We need a way out, now. Ranger didn't wait. The dog bolted into the underbrush, stopping just long enough to look back. Then he barked once, sharp and urgent. They followed.
If this tale moved you, if you felt the tension, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more thrilling, emotional, and inspiring stories your way. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Do you believe dogs have an extraordinary sixth sense? Share your thoughts and personal stories with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.